Hola, buenos días, buenas tardes, o buenas noches. Whatever time it is that you're joining, I'm glad you're here. This is a little mini video to help you study what time you have certain classes. ¿A qué hora, at what time, tienes, do you have? And you're going to be able to express when you have classes. Tengo la clase a, I have the class at. No tengo la clase de, I don't have that class. Little study tip, you can sit here and practice with me as much as you want, and I'm really glad you are. I also suggest you grab a piece of paper, a notebook, and that you handwrite some things as we go along. You can always pause. So you have your Denby High School bell schedule, and we have classes at certain times. So if it is at 7:10 a.m., a las 7:10 de la mañana. Now, if you're trying to remember time and numbers, that was a previous lesson. We do have that embedded into our Canvas lessons, and it's also on my YouTube channel. So if you need a little help with remembering time and things like that and numbers, you can head on back to those and then come on back to this one. At 8:20 in the morning, a las 8:20 de la mañana. At 9:58 in the morning, a las 9:58 de la mañana. At 12:23 p.m., a las 12:23 de la tarde. If you need to practice that again, pause, replay as many times as you need. That's the beauty of Canvas. Anytime, anywhere learning. So let's actually sit here and really practice and focus on this. A las 7:10 de la mañana. A las 8:20 de la mañana. And yes, I'm trying to show good digital citizenship and telling you where I put my where I found my graphics. I did not create this artwork. A las 9:58 de la mañana. Just for reference, that's an analog clock when you have the circle and you have the big hand and little hand. And of course, that's the digital clock. A las 12:23 de la tarde. A la 1:30 de la tarde. That's for those of us that had classes last year on Zoom University. So you might not have art class. And so if I ask you, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de arte? You could say, no tengo la clase de arte. But in order to say what time you have it, if it's first period, if it's second or third period, if it's fourth or fifth period, or if it's sixth or seventh period, you would come in with that time. So if I ask you, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de arte? You're going to say, tengo la clase de arte a las, and then you're going to say the time, 7:10, 8:20, 9:58, or 12:23. For the morning, de la mañana. For the afternoon, de la tarde. And if you don't have art class, no tengo la clase de arte. So ready? I'm going to ask you, and then you're going to tell me what time you have art class or that you don't have it. Ready? ¿A qué hora tienes la clase de arte? ¿A qué hora tienes la clase de música? Hey, Miss Stuck, I jumped into this. Where is all the lesson about classes and what classes I have? Scroll up in Canvas, and there was a previous lesson right there about what classes you have. So if you need to, go on back to that one. Ready? You're going to tell me, no tengo la clase de música, if you don't have band or chorus, or you're going to say, tengo la clase de música a las, and you might say 7:10 de la mañana, 8:20 de la mañana, 9:25 de la mañana, or 12:23 de la tarde. Just do your best. Remember, this is Spanish 1. You're novice low, reaching novice mid. You're learning. So, ready? ¿A qué hora tienes la clase de música? Okay. So again, you're going to answer tengo, educación física a las, and you're either going to say 7:10 de la mañana, 8:20 de la mañana, 9:25 de la mañana, 12:23 de la tarde, or you're going to say no tengo la clase de educación física. So, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de educación física? Ooh, why don't you ask me? Why don't you find out when I have Spanish class? Ask me, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de español? Ready? Repite, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de español? Ready? Ask me. Ay, gracias. En los días A tengo español a las 7:10 de la mañana, a las 8:20 de la mañana y a las 9:25 de la mañana. En los días B, yo tengo español a las 7:10 de la mañana, a las 8:20 de la mañana y a las 12:23 de la tarde. Tengo las clases de español y español 3. So, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de matemáticas? I doubt you're going to tell me no tengo la clase de matemáticas, unless you're a senior who's finished all your credits. So, I'm asking you, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de matemáticas? Ciencias naturales. Again, this could be ciencias naturales, biología, química, física, astronomía, astrología, zoología. We're just sticking with ciencias naturales in Spanish 1. So, you're going to practice answering me, and you're going to say, tengo ciencias naturales a las, and then you're either going to say 7:10 de la mañana, 8:20 de la mañana, 9:58 de la mañana, 12:23 de la tarde. You might say, no tengo la clase de ciencias naturales. Ready? I'm asking you, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de ciencias naturales? Pause if you keep needing to practice, and feel free to pause, throw the question at me, and pretend. So, ciencias sociales. You might have geografía. You might have historia del mundo. You might have historia de los Estados Unidos. You might have psicología. You might have gobierno. They're all ciencias sociales. Why don't you practice asking me? Throw this question at me. Pregúntame. ¿A qué hora? Yep, keep practicing. ¿A qué hora tienes la clase de ciencias sociales? Ciencias sociales. You go ahead and throw the whole question at me. Pregúntame, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de ciencias sociales? Pregúntame. No tengo la clase de ciencias sociales. All of you probably have English class, whether you're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior. So, ¿a qué hora tienes la clase de inglés? Now, we all have lunch at different times. Here at our school, we have 3 different lunch sessions. There's first lunch, second lunch, and third lunch. Now, for some reason, they're all in the morning, but that's just how we roll. We're trying to get all the meals through. So, almuerzo, lunch, almuerzo, almuerzo. ¿A qué hora tienes almuerzo? And that could depend on whether it's an A day or a B day. I always have first lunch. Yo tengo almuerzo a las 10:13 de la mañana. For you, it might be different depending on the day. Repite, por favor. 10:13. 10:13. 10:45. 10:45. 11:48. 11:48. And these are all in the morning de la mañana. So, you ask me, ¿a qué hora tienes almuerzo? Pregúntame. Tengo almuerzo a las 10:13 de la mañana. Now, I'm going to ask you, ¿a qué hora tienes almuerzo? Now, you might have some other classes that are really important to you. Some of you are taking driver's ed, la clase de manejar. Some of you are taking health, salud. Some of you are taking econ and personal finance, economía y finanza personal. Some of you are in our awesome aviation program, aviación. If you need a specific class, you can click on Reverso Context or you can go to Word Reference. I trust both of those sites. Okay. I'm only going to quiz you on the Inglés, Matemáticas, Ciencias Sociales, but if something's really important to you, go ahead and look that up. Okay, gracias. Hasta luego.